There's a few things that we all really need to know about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. First of all, the apparent anomalies in the video footage, where you see that, for example, the ring on his left hand shifts from his ring finger to his pinky. You know, that is something very peculiar, and it causes many people to think that clearly it's CGI, clearly it's AI, it's fake, you know, so therefore he wasn't really killed. It's just, you know, another fake event. Well, there's something you have to know, guys. You can look this up on ChatGPT, on any other AI. I looked it up, and it explains that phones, smartphones, make heavy use of AI to reconstruct footage. What does that mean? It means that when you make a video, especially from a distance, especially from fast moving objects, you know, or a quick occurrence, a fast event, the sensor and the computer in the phone is not always able to capture every frame of that accurately. It uses AI to kind of, you know, enhance, kind of recreate, reconstruct what the sensor is seeing. Now, we all know that AI messes up big time. AI creates people with 6 fingers, 5 legs, you know, the weirdest things. And so that is where these anomalies are coming from. It's not proof that Charlie Kirk was not effectively assassinated. It is simply what happens when you film something with a phone from a distance and something really fast happens. Then the phone uses AI to reconstruct what just happened, and that can include anomalies. Okay, so that is something we need to know. I believe that Charlie Kirk was really assassinated, and I am fully convinced that it was the Israeli Mossad who did it. Why? Because Charlie Kirk is one of the most powerful influencers in America at a very high level, right next to President Trump. He was already being rooted as an upcoming president. His influence in America was really astounding. He was also going to universities all over America to speak to thousands of students and put their minds back on track, undo the Israeli mind control, undo the insanity that is being pumped into the minds of the youth of America by Israel, which is actually, it's Israel that is perverting the universities. So, but he never was a real big threat to Israel before, because he was raised in a church, in a Christian church, and so he was brainwashed. He was completely mind controlled about Israel, that being a Christian means you have to support Israel blindly, unquestioningly, condone them, never criticize them. You know, they're God's chosen people. If you bless them, God will bless you. If you don't bless them, God will curse you. You know, all these lies that are put in the minds of Christians by Israel itself. Israel controls the Christian church, okay? It has an indescribable mind control operation in Christianity to ensure full support from Christians around the world. But something significant happened with Charlie Kirk. He started waking up. He began seeing things. He started asking honest questions. Why did Israel shut down its military on October 7th, a couple of years ago? Why did Israel, you know, überhaupt create Hamas in the first place? Why does Israel control all politicians, or almost all politicians in America? Why are our Christian churches sponsored? Big Christian ministries are sponsored by Israel so that they would always blindly support Israel. Charlie Kirk started asking questions, so he all of a sudden became very, very dangerous.
Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true, the Anti-Defamation League, was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing, anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Copperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the, so that's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to kind of, it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country. And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it.
He even asked questions about why Israel had allowed Hamas to enter for 6 hours straight without any attempt to stop them on that horrendous October 7.
The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still had the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu is basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead.
He became an incredible threat because if somebody like Charlie Kirk starts asking critical questions about Israel, that threatens their suffocating stranglehold on America. They can't have it happen. And Charlie Kirk has apparently said that he was afraid that Israel would kill him. Israel has killed John F. Kennedy because he was not agreeing with their agenda to build a nuclear base in Israel from where they could launch nuclear war on America and anywhere in the world. Israel has the Mossad, which is what the CIA is for America. The Mossad is for Israel. It's basically the same people. It's the same powers who control both. But the Mossad is known to be the world's #1. Listen. The Mossad is known to be the world's #1 killing machine. Nobody assassinates more people than the Israeli Mossad. They go around the world all the time assassinating people that they consider to be a threat. So guys, I am fully convinced it was Israel. They always have a scapegoat. They always have, a silly, stupid story like, this lunatic killed blah, 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 and, this transgender killed and blah, blah, blah. It's not those guys. What happened to Charlie Kirk was a shot so indescribably accurate, so professional. Nobody in a busy crowd can take out a heavy, long rifle, put it on a stand, and then aim meticulously, for a minute or so without anybody noticing. That is so unbelievably ridiculous that it's mind-boggling that anybody even falls for that. This was a professional assassination done from a distance. There is footage from a man who was on the roof, who was running away after the killing happened. We have to learn to think and see, there's something else going on here. Who has a motive? Israel. Who was he threatening? Israel. Who was he exposing? Israel. Whom did he say he was afraid would kill him? Israel. Guys, Israel cannot afford people like Charlie Kirk turning against them and starting to wake up America concerning how Israel controls this nation. But I believe that this will be a death blow to Israel itself. I believe that what they did now, listen carefully, Israel thinks they're untouchable. They believe that they can do anything they want. They believe they can kill and kill and kill and kill and kill. Kill everyone, kill here, kill there, kill constantly. And nobody ever comes after them because they control the world. But I believe that they went too far. I believe that this will turn against them. I believe that this assassination signals the end of the satanic rule of Israel. Follow me here if you want to hear more.